Hey guys, what's up? It's a Cultural Detective here investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to do a movie review very fast because again I need to go to school. I'm running out of time again. But yeah, today I'm going to be doing a review on a film I watched last night, and that film is Sansho Yu, or in English, Sansho The Bailiff. This is a film written and directed by one of the greatest Japanese directors of all times, Mizoguchi Kenji. And I've been really excited to watch this film. I've seen a few Ozu films, I've seen a good handful of Kurosawa films, and I've seen one film from Kobayashi Masaki. But when you talk about these great Japanese directors, everyone also mentions Mizoguchi Kenji. And however, I am ashamed to say that I've never seen a single film from him until last night when I watched Sansho The Bailiff because, well, it's really critically acclaimed, it's huge, why not? And it's kind of crazy because this is from the year 1954, and in the same year, Japan released Godzilla, one of the most influential monster movies of all times, and Seven Samurai, arguably one of the greatest films ever made. But aside from these two films, we also have Sansho the Bailiff in the same year. Japan was really popping off in 1954, and only 1 year before 1954, in 1953, Ozu released Tokyo Story, which is also one of the greatest and most critically acclaimed films of all times. And if you haven't seen any of those films I just mentioned, what the hell are you doing? So, Sansho the Bailiff, oh my god. I usually don't do unprompted movie reviews like this. Like, I usually plan them out, but usually when a movie surprised me or shook me so much, I would be like, okay, next morning I need to talk about this movie and put it on my YouTube channel and let people know how great this movie is. And this time it's Sansho the Bailiff. Going into the film, I knew nothing about it. I mean, I knew that it is a sad story and it takes place in the Middle Ages, or to be accurate, it is near the end of the Heian period, which is my personal favorite time period for Asian history, by the way, because it coincided with the Song Dynasty. Anyways, um, going into the film, I knew nothing. Turns out, it's about a couple children getting enslaved. Um, and it's a brother and a sister, and the brother decides to, I guess, or wants to save his sister, his mom, and his dad, who are sort of like separated across the country. And it's sort of this very bold, almost epic kind of tragic story about the world. It's about power and justice. It's about human decency and mercy, and there's so many storylines going on at the same, not so many, but you can feel kind of a scale going on, like there's a large scale going on, and I did not see that coming. And right off the bat, right from the first, after the second scene or the third scene, I was already immediately hooked, because I sort of began to realize what kind of movie this is. And oh my god, this is heartbreaking, it's gut wrenching, and downright depressing. By the end of the movie, I found myself getting teary eyed. And yeah, I don't cry at movies often, let alone a movie from 1954. Um, and that's kind of insane. It's really one of the saddest movies I've ever watched. And usually really sad movies don't affect me, but this movie really had me thinking a lot. And I was kind of worried before going to the film, thinking that, oh, it's probably going to be a really slow paced film. But no, I think it's perfectly paced. I think it's very accessible as well. It's just a very well made film through and through. And I just, if people are unfamiliar with, quote unquote old, quote unquote, you know, uh, old filmy Japanese films from the 1950s, black and white Japanese films. I think Sansho the Bailiff would be a great entry point because it's not boring at all. Yeah, it has long takes, but it never feels slow. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just accustomed to slow pacing and I just find this not slow at all, but it really isn't slow at all. In fact, even though Kurosawa is very Hollywood, I would recommend Sancho the Bailiff even more so than some Kurosawa films because I feel like it's just so accessible and so easy to enjoy and root for these poor, sad characters, and you just want to see them win. And you see them suffer again and again and again, and it just hurts so much. And this is basically most of the movie. And even so, I'm not saying this movie is not artistic at all. It is beautiful. The framing and composition, the lighting is gorgeous because this movie is shot by legendary DP Miyagawa Kazuo, who would go on to work with Kurosawa a lot, and I believe he worked with Ozu a lot as well, so he's been going here and there. The music is great. The tragic strings is beautiful, and the percussion, the whole soundscape of the film is great. Like, there are so many interior shots where, no music is being played on screen, but you can hear distant drums. So it's kind of diegetic, but it's also not diegetic. And I like that there's not one antagonist. It's actually kind of weird that this movie is called Sansho Da but even though he's kind of like the main antagonist of the film, the film doesn't make him the big antagonist because there's so many other equally evil, sadistic people all across the story. And why the film chooses not to focus on him too hard, I believe, is because the film wants to prove that the world is just full of evil, sadistic people. And this isn't just a problem of one person. This is human nature. There's just so much evil in humanity, and there's so many people abusing their power in the world at all times. And the movie really makes that a point, and it just says so much about human decency and mercy and suffering, and the ending just hurts so much. So, yeah, I did not expect myself to be blown away by this movie that much and be moved by this film so much. And I'm genuinely feeling a strong 9 to a 10 out of 10. So have you watched Sansho the Bailiff? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.